Alright, hello everyone. This is IT Management Concepts, Topic 5, the lab called Technical Documentation Virtual Systems. This is for Section 4, the video of virtual environment work, where basically you go through a set of steps to create a Virtualbox profile and copy it, or rather clone it, and then basically you should be able to give this video and steps to an intern and they should be able to complete them. So the first thing you're going to need is to download VirtualBox, the extension pack, and the Windows 10 ISO. So you can find that here at virtualbox.org/wiki/downloads. Then you just click Windows Hosts and it will download the latest version of VirtualBox. And then you also want to click down here where it says all supported platforms to download the extension pack. Make sure you run the regular VirtualBox before the extension pack, otherwise, I don't know, nothing will happen or something will break, I'm not sure. The other thing you're going to need is a Windows 10 ISO. We're not actually installing Windows here, but if you did want to, then this is where you would do it. So this is the media creation tool. You can find this just by Googling media creation tool or Windows media creation tool on Google. It'll be the first link, and here we are. You just click download tool now and you go through the steps and just follow everything that says ISO. Now I already have all three of those rather downloaded, and here we are on VirtualBox. So the first thing we're going to want to do, first step, it says install VirtualBox and additional functionality as required. So we should have done that already. The next thing we want to do is create a VM guest named your last name and using Windows 10. So we name it my last name and then we change it to Windows 10. Perfect. The memory amount should be 1536 megabytes. You can just change the memory size in the little box, or you can change the slider. And then for the hard disk, we want to create a virtual hard disk now. So you just click create, and then we'll pop up with this. So we want to have we want to name it HD1. And then we want the file size to be 40 gigabytes. And it should be a virtual machine disk, the VMDK, and dynamically allocated. Create that, and then our profile has been created. So next we want to go into the settings, and we're just going to change a bunch of settings in here to further customize our VirtualBox profile. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go to the disk encryption and enable it, and change the cipher to the AES XTS 128 choice, and then enter a password. I'm just going to enter password 1. Perfect. The next thing is disabling boot from floppy. So to do that, we're just going to go to System and then just uncheck the floppy box. Additionally, you can change the boot order just by dragging or by clicking one and then clicking the arrows, but we don't want to boot from floppy, so we just uncheck that box. The next thing is we want to set the CPU execution cap to 80% and enable PAE/NX. So we're already in system. You just go to the processor tab. The PAE/NX is already enabled, and then you can set the number of CPU cores that it'll use and the execution cap. So we want to change this to 80%. Next, we want to enable 3D acceleration. So we do that by going to Display, and then just down here on the first tab, we just want to click Enable 3D Acceleration. Perfect. The next thing is you want to switch to the Remote Display tab under Display. Click Enable Server, and then change the server port to 3390 instead of 3389. Leave everything else the same. We don't need any authentication currently. Next step is setting the CD to your host drive. So we go into storage, and then we can see that our virtual hard disk has been created here, and this is where it shows. And this empty is actually our optical drive. So we click on the little disk with an arrow, then we can choose a virtual optical disk file. And here's my Windows ISO that I've downloaded to my desktop, and then you just click OK, and here it is mounted into the optical drive. The next thing we want to do is disable audio, so just go to the audio section and uncheck the box that says enable audio. And now we can just click OK because we're going to change something else. So if you just right click on your profile, then we can create a shortcut on the desktop. And if we click that, then we can see that there's been a shortcut created right here for our VirtualBox profile. And so then you can just instantly start it up without having to open VirtualBox first in the future. The next thing we want to do is go back into settings and go to network, and then we're going to change some network adapters. So the first one is already enabled, and we want to change it from NAT to bridged, and then click advanced and unclick the cable connected checkbox, because we don't actually want the VirtualBox to think that it can get on the internet. The next thing is go to adapter 2 and enable it, and then we want to change it attached to the internal network. You can change the name if you want, but we don't actually need to. Next step is creating a VirtualBox shared folder called share on the C drive, and then have it auto mount. So we go to shared folders, and if you just click the little blue folder with a plus that says adds new shared folder, then we can click a little arrow and click other, and then go to this PC, go to my C drive, and I've already created a share folder, but otherwise, if we didn't have that one, then you could just click new folder, type share, click that, and then select folder. So then it brings you back to VirtualBox, and then we want to click auto mount so that it already knows where the share folder is located. Then just click OK. Next step is setting the user interface to show at the top of the screen. So just go to the user interface section and click the show at top of screen checkbox. Next step is setting the description, Windows Test Environment for Engineering. So you want to come back to the general section, click on the description tab, and type in Windows Test Environment for Engineering. Period. Perfect. Next step is we want to add a second hard disk drive, and that's going to be in the VDI style instead of VMDK. So to do that, you just click the little blue floppy disk with the plus, and it says adds new storage attachment, and then we want to click add hard disk, and we want to create a new disk, and this one will be named your last name and then 2. So just like the profile was your first name, the hard disk will be your last name, the hard disk will be your last name and then 2. And we want this one to be 100 gigabytes, and it will be VDI and dynamically allocated. You click create, then we can see that we have both storage devices right there. So then the next thing you click OK, and then the next thing we're going to want to do is create some snapshots and clones. So while you have selected your VirtualBox profile, you come over here to Machine Tools, click on the little arrow, go to Snapshots, and then click Take a Snapshot. And so we want to name the snapshot Base, and then the description is going to be pre-install. Click OK on that, and then it creates a snapshot. So then the next thing that we're going to want to do is create a clone. So if you just right click on base, we can click clone, and the clone's name is going to just be your first name. We also want to reinitialize the MAC address of all network cards, and then it's going to snapshot the current machine state and be a full clone. Then we just want to click clone, and then it creates a separate version. If for some reason your VirtualBox, corrupted, then you could back up to this base state before you installed Windows, or then you have just a second pre-configured profile with no Windows installed to do further experimenting on. And that should be all. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps.